This was brought to you by the Storyteller on YouTube and Facebook.
The awful ice of truth began to freeze on me. In my mind, I saw a vision of a massive storm at the break of a new day, a storm to blow terrible wind with snow, cold and hail, to lash and tear, to rip asunder and destroy everything in its path. When I was sure the soldiers had gone past, and no more were coming, I broke free again onto the track and ran as fast as I could. I knew the little clearing, and I knew what I would find. 7 young women and girls, 1 young man, a baby. Lazzy lay alone at the edge of the little sunlit clearing, his arms thrown apart as if in shock, blood on his neck and chest. Maybe he had tried to run for help, or maybe he was the first to die, I don't know. The others, their clothing awry, blood-stained, Cresta with her baby son Fino, nearby Maria, Rose, Salome, Jessie, all defiled. Separate from the others, my 2 loveliest lady friends Rupi Silverfeet and Petal, the girl who had special dances for me, and the girl who I had met on my first day. I knelt beside Rupi and pulled her dress back down over her knees for her modesty's sake. Her mouth was wide open, and there were tears in the corners of her eyes which were open as if she was staring at something wonderful in the sky. For sure, it could not have been a leering soldier's face, but perhaps an angel or a great prophet who came to her at the moment of death. I gently closed her eyes. Petals were already shut, but, again, I rearranged her clothing, and then that of the others. The grief came. I roared and wailed, threw myself onto the ground, and beat it with my fists as if it was to blame. Repeatedly I kissed Rupi's cooling forehead, screaming, weeping and wailing constantly, tears streaming down my face until my ducts had no more tears to produce. If Vanta's knife had been in my belt, I would have plunged it there and then into my heart so that I, too, could follow my lovely kin to whichever of the 7 afterlives was theirs, or if somehow they did not have one, at least I would welcome the darkness. When I heard the motorbike returning, I only just had time to leak away into the undergrowth. I watched the men climb off the motorbike, take their rifles ready to use them, and start searching the little clearing. I could not understand their actual words, but guessed they had heard my loud grieving, and had come back to kill a witness who had somehow survived the murders, or so they thought. I even considered coming out from my hiding place to let them kill me, too, but then Granny V's various words and warnings came back to me. You have a job to do, the quest which you have ahead of you. On no account come out of hiding until the soldiers have gone, no matter what. The wolves are upon us. Witness, witness, the great sadness has begun. It felt like a steel barrier had come in front of me to stop me leaving the undergrowth. Now the soldiers pushed at the bodies to see if anyone was alive, then searched for bloodstains on the ground leading away. They shouted and hit bushes with their rifles to drive out anyone who might be hiding injured. I stayed. My hatred for them was only surpassed by the knowledge that foxes can hide well, and will not be seen when they do not want it. After a few moments, they kickstarted the combination, and bounced off back down the track towards the main camp area. When all was silent, I set off in the opposite direction to find Vanta, ever on the alert for the smell of cordite, or soldiers' cigarettes, or the sound of voices or machines. His camp was much further away from the murder clearing than the main camp, over 4 miles certainly, but I think I covered that distance in little more than 20 minutes, charging along the familiar pathway. Heedless of the danger, I burst into his clearing.
This was brought to you by the Storyteller on YouTube and Facebook. Listen to our podcast on any of these platforms: Anchor, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, RadioPublic, Spotify. Support us on Patreon, and check us out on Discord. All the links can be found in the video description below. We thank you for your participation. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, share, make comments. We love feedback.